Today is Friday, January 17th, 2025, and there are a lot of things to talk about in the NASCAR world. And the three big things that we're going to be focusing on today are the Kyle Busch silly season rumors, and Jimmie Johnson racing in the 500, and Matt DiBenedetto full-time in Xfinity this year. And there's also going to be a couple other things that I'll talk about towards the end. But let's start off with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is heading into a contract year where he's going to have to prove himself really in a way, but at the same time he doesn't, because we all know that RCR as a program has kind of taken a step back within the last year and a half. And you really can't judge Kyle Busch based on his performances because the car isn't all that good. And I believe last year when he got punched by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. after the All-Star race, I felt in a way that his team betrayed him because they let it happen. And from that point on, things didn't really go well. And I just could see a scenario this year where Busch decides, you know what, my time for RCR is up. Let's look elsewhere. And a lot of people want to point to Hendrick Motorsports, specifically the 48 car. Alex Bowman's on a contract year, and anything can happen there. But if I were to be a betting man, I believe Hendrick would probably want someone younger rather than older, because the team that I got right now is an older team, if you will. They've been in NASCAR for plenty of years. So I don't think they're going to want to go a veteran right away and have to replace him in a couple of years' time. I think what's going to happen there is they're going to go look for someone young, and specifically like Justin Haley. He's right now with Spire. So if you made the jump there, Kyle Busch goes to Spire, who was the team, after all, who bought his Truck Series team. But that's all speculation. But the Kyle Busch rumors are surely heating up, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Jimmie Johnson has 2 races scheduled for this year that we know of, and I'm pretty sure that's going to probably be it. Nothing will be added on. It's the Daytona 500 and the Coke 600, and the Coke 600 is a 700 start, so I can very well see that being his last ever NASCAR race. But Daytona, interesting one. Anything can happen there. Hopefully he can make it past halfway, because he's had a lot of bad luck since retiring or coming back part-time. Matt DiBenedetto last year started off as a part-time driver, and that part-time driver role came into a permanent driver role, and he finished off the season with the 38 team. Now he's with the 99 team, which is practically the same team, Viking Motorsports, a rebrand, and they're going full-time. I believe he's going to be competitive. He'll go for a playoff spot. He's definitely not going to be a top 5 driver by any means, but I believe 12th to 15th place in the point standings is pretty much the range for Matt DiBenedetto. But it wouldn't surprise me to see him win at Daytona or a track like Bristol, or maybe even Atlanta or Talladega. He's a good driver, but the equipment he's in is kind of mid. But in the Xfinity Series, mid equipment can win you races. But moving on, though, Kurt Busch was cleared by his medical group that he can now come back racing competitively in NASCAR or any other racing series that he wants to. I believe he's going to hold off on NASCAR for a little while, but maybe when they go to Chicago or Mexico City, he may race there just because of the fact where it's a slower track, something different, something he's never done before, and he may want to try out. I don't know, but I don't see him going back to none of the big tracks right away. I will give it some time. But what do you think? Comment down below.